Spoilers ahead, you've been warned.
Alright, so how is everyone's day going? Hopefully it's better than mine. Not technically having a good day, unfortunately. But you didn't come here to hear about my problems. So, so here is my review for a movie that I didn't know nothing about. But it is called Benny Loves You. It's a Project horror film. I would pretty much argue that this is more of a dark comedy, if anything, but it's labeled as horror. And it is directed, produced, and screenwritten, and even the main star is Carl Holt. Now, I looked what he's been in. I couldn't find anything else. Same thing with the other stars. I haven't seen anything else that he's written. But the plot of this is, after an accidental death of the parents, Jack's comfortable lifestyle comes to an end as he sells the family home. Desperate to improve his life, Jack throws out all his childhood belongings, including his beloved plush animal named Benny. However, it's a move that has consequences with Benny springs to life with deadly intentions. I screw that up a little bit, but what are you gonna do? It reminds me a lot of a mix-up of Chucky, Sesame Street. As the Sesame Street part, it reminds me of a bunny slash bear that version that kills of Elmo. And a lot of it, from the squeeze me, tickle me Elmo, to I love you, and hold me, and that type of stuff, and just the look of it. It also has a look of a high medium budget project film, YouTube project film. It reminds me so much of specifically of what style you get with the channel Crypt TV. If you have not checked out their horror films, they are really good. They're kind of corny, kind of funny, but at the same time very creepy. A lot of artistic shots, some I didn't care for. There was a good amount of really creative good ones as well, like the opening with the closet slowly pushing out smoke like mist filling the room. It looks like they used a fog machine or with a bit of CGI. They definitely did slow it down some to make it more dramatic. And there's definitely some parts in there, because in that part I didn't really feel like I understood what was going on. It kind of felt like it was a little bit out of place, while also adding to the main story of don't abuse your love for your favorite animals as a kid, or there will be consequences. Now, I'm not really a pure fan of horror movies, as you may know, so this would not have a review if it didn't have the British dry humor to it, layered over the horror. It has to be honest, as it was for sure playing really close to my discomfort zone in the first 20 minutes. Afterwards, it was more of a slasher than a horror, and it was more of the kind of a gimmickal dark humor to it. And it got more and more dark humor, the more humor part of it, to later on as the movie went on. If that makes sense. The effects weren't bad. They were noticeable, but they weren't bad. They pretty much them and the body props and the everything just kind of fit with this type of film. The props again did fit with the film. the style of the film, but they were also kind of in between, kind of obvious that they were props, while they were also definitely, you know, kind of comical, believable. You know what I mean? It was funny as hell when Benny would move around, as you could tell they were using strings by how it moved, but not actually seeing the strings. So I was trying to think, do they use green screens? But no, it looks like they used the house, so I don't really know anything about other than using green strings to move an animated object in front of a green screen. So this is not what they did. They obviously used some sort of very thin string, I imagine, but again, I don't really know. And they also use a lot of CG for the kind of action martial arts type of flipping stuff of him, along with some of his moving, from place to place and stuff around the room, and him being creepy, which I honestly, I really did had a hate-love relationships with the character, because he's a plush animal, so he's kind of a character, but he's a animate object, if you know what I mean. I mean, he was funny. He was funny. It was very chemical. It was very funny, and I definitely love him, the Billy character, and the director slash producer slash main character guy, Carl. I forgot his name already. Between them, they had a love relationship, and there's definitely a montage in there of kind of trying not to spoil here, but there's definitely a montage in there, and there's definitely this type of back and forth of should I be friends with him or should I not be friends with him? You know, he's a killer, has this loose with killing. They did have a demon in here in the beginning. They didn't show him anywhere else, but he was definitely creepy. And I don't know if it was a guy in a suit, or if it was CGI, or if it was both. I'll have to go back and look at that. See, when really I say that, I'm really not going to, because I don't see that's the part that within the 20 minutes that creeps the crap out of me. So I'm gonna be honest, I probably won't. With this type of film style, I felt like everything from the props to the blood to the Benny prop movement fit perfectly. Even the story, I felt perfectly. But did it have some problems? Yeah, there was definitely a bunch of unrealistic parts. But again, it's a dark comedy, so and a lot of it, none of it came off cheesy. Well, it kind of did in a way, but it wasn't like corny kind of jokes or things thrown in. It was this a kind of horror creepiness to the whole story, and it was layered in the front and in the back, and a little bit mixed in of kind of this kind of British humor type of stick to it, without having the actual stick, you know, bumping and stuff. But you get what I mean. The best way to describe it, if you've ever seen the Shaun of the Dead, and I forgot the other two that were part of the trilogy, that's pretty much what this is. Especially the Dawn of the Dead. They were all British from as far as I could tell, and I could be wrong. Let me know in the comments. But it just came off like that. I will say, this is not necessarily a spoiler, and I'm not going to get in detail about it, but I love the dramatic ending at the end. It was dramatic. It was meaningful. It had same kind of funny in the background as he was doing this kind of slow run, and I guess that is a spoiler, so I do apologize, and now I'm going to have to change the title, but oh well. I'm doing what I can and the best way I can. But yeah, he's running towards the cops, and you know, it's just very funny. It was a fun and weird movie. It's something to watch. It's not just something to watch, but it's something to watch. And I very much enjoyed it a lot. It was very, very funny, kind of not like haha out loud funny, but it was very, very kind of that dry humor you get kind of with my channel type of with British. So it was real good. It had problems, but so did Simon Pegg and Nick Frost, the 3 movies they did. But yeah, here's my rating. Yeah, so let me in the comments what you thought of this movie. Did you like it? Did you love it? I loved it. It was actually way better than I thought it was going to be. I thought maybe it was going to be kind of in the middle. So I do also want to apologize for me going over a little bit here and there out of place with the review. It's a little bit sloppy, but I'm only human, so, and I've just been having kind of a rough week, so, and a very rough day. So I duly apologize, but I do love the support I'm getting for my channel. I love you all, and please stay safe, and Skål.